Hello, welcome to episode number 43 of the Conscious Cruiser. Today we're going to be talking to you about group cruises. Are they for you or not? And with me today, of course, is Elisa from Elisa's Adventures in Cruising, Scott from Controversial Cruising. I'm Chet from Sea Lake Journeys. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious casters, Elisa, Chet, and Scott.
That's us. How about that?
That's us. We love that music.
I'm just glad that voice never says it's going to be Bill, Linda, and Sean today.
We're like, wait, what? What happened?
Show.
It's still us.
All right, guys. Hey, we're going to be talking about group cruises today.
Okay.
And I think we're going to have a little bit of experience here between the three of us on past, present, and future. I believe we can talk about. So hopefully everybody out there listening in will get something they're going to need to know about group cruises, especially if they haven't been on one and are thinking about doing it.
Definitely.
Our first question of the day is, have you ever been on a group cruise, and what are your thoughts on that? And of course, we always start here at the Conscious Cruiser with ladies first. So Elisa, kick us off with it.
Today it wasn't such a shock, but I'm still a little like, oh, me? Yes, I have been on a group cruise, but that's been a recent thing. So the last, 2 years ago, I went on my first one. And I have one coming up in just about 10 days or so. So I think I liked it.
Might that be the Greece cruise that we have been watching all over your channel and live? Oh, I can't.
The one I keep calling Italy, and it's really green.
That's the same one.
Yeah.
I let it slide.
Oh,
It's over there. It's over there.
over there.
But yeah, so I'm really excited about that and trying to get ready.
I love it. I love it. So I've only actually been on officially one group cruise, and it's actually right behind me. You can see that it never moves because I love that bag. It was a smaller group cruise, but sometimes I like when they're smaller, right? They're more intimate. It was from Edna and V's. It was a Run It Back group cruise. I was actually lucky enough to meet both Elisa and Chet before that group cruise, because it was on the Margaritaville at Sea, and we did have a little Tampa meetup where there were YouTubers that came to as well that weren't going on the cruise. Some of them were going on the cruise, but Bill from Armstrong Adventures and myself went on that group cruise, and that was so much fun. And I do want to say, with those smaller group cruises, there were planned activities, but the way that Edna and V run it is, if you want to come, you can come, but if you don't want to come, don't worry. You do your own thing. It's your cruise. We're not going to see you out and be like, hey, why didn't you go to the bar crawl? Or, hey, why weren't you at the magic show, right? It's just all loosey-goosey. If you want to be part of the group, you can. And if you want to be part now, you can. And if you don't want to later, you don't have to. So that's really why I loved it. That was the perfect first group cruise for me. And I can't wait to go back on another one.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. We've been on 3 different types of group cruises, y'all.
Oh.
The first one was a wedding group cruise, or my youngest daughter's wedding. So there was a big group for that. The second one we went on was officially a group cruise, a Sea Lake Journey group cruise. We had a whole bunch of people come with us, Ocean Travel, TNT's Adventures to Sea, and some other people. And it was a whole lot of fun. I can look forward to doing that again. And the third type of group cruise we went on, I'm going to call the unknown group cruise. That's when you get on there and you don't know there's other people on there you're going to meet. See Me Traveling was on that cruise. TNT's Adventures to Sea, and SCT, Greg and Felicia. We were all on the same cruise, and SCT and See Me Traveling knew that each other was going to be there, but the rest of us, I think, we all just kind of ran into each other and had the unknown group cruise. It became a group cruise that nobody had planned. So there are different types of group cruises, and we've been on 3 of them. So And there's other
That's
kinds
cool.
too. You know, maybe you've got a work group cruise.
Mhm.
You're going to go to work, and your bowling team has a group cruise, or a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise,
Very true.
helping other people get on a cruise that otherwise might not be able to. And then, of course, you got the family and friend vacation group cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And lastly, you got the Facebook group cruise. And let me tell you, there can be 1,000 people in a Facebook group cruise. Just saying. And maybe you're on all of them at the same time. Maybe you and Bill's bowling team is one of them's getting married, and you're going on a cruise, and your family comes, and you find out the YouTube channel's going. You book through them, and your friend that's a travel agent, and all of a sudden you got a Facebook group coming on, and there 3,000 people out of 3,500 people on the ship. How about that?
Actually, you want to know what? I'm gonna raise my hand again. I got something else to say.
Go ahead, Scott.
Now that you say that, the Facebook group cruise. Back in my early 20s, when I was cruising for the first time after being 21, 22, 23, I was in multiple Halloween, specifically Carnival Dream and Carnival Elation, because they went out of New Orleans, and I loved that port. So it was the Carnival Dream. And from about 2000 and I think it was 9 to like 2013, it was every year. And pretty much the same 100, 150, 200 people from the group cruise. And there was sometimes even more would go on the Carnival Dream right over Halloween. We would all dress up. And it was, I mean, honestly, I didn't really think of it as a group cruise back then. But now, right, sitting where I am years later, it really was. It was a Facebook group cruise every single year, and it was booked every year. We knew when it was. We would hype it up. We would be talking about it for the entire year, telling each other what we're dressing up as, what we're wearing, things like that. So I remember those. I remember those days. Those are some good days, man. Those were some good days.
That reminded me too. I did do a couple of cruises with a group from work. I think we booked through like Sam's Club at the time. Sam's Club had a travel. Sam's Club. And we were all worried about getting the code so that we got the same rate and get the rooms and all that. I forgot about that. So the group was like maybe 10 of us, and we were just happy to hang out and actually all get the time off from work at the same time to do something fun. But I didn't think about that until just now. So yeah.
So
there's all kinds of group cruises.
Yeah, there's all types of group cruises, isn't there? So so everybody in here has been on at least 2 different kinds of group cruises.
Yeah.
And how about that? And I think we're all looking forward to some other type of group cruise in the future.
Yeah.
Especially Lisa, who's like, I don't know, days away. Oh my gosh. But we'll move on to question number 2 here. As soon as I can find out what it is here. Oh, no, before you go, why you should or should not go on a group cruise. Why you should go on a group cruise, and maybe you got a reason why somebody should not go on a group cruise. You can have both. It's okay.
Sure.
Scott, kick us off on this one, will you?
Yeah. You want to know what? I think there's always pros to going with a group, right? And I think I would say more for the newer cruisers or more for your first time cruisers, right? Going in that group and having that group setting of somebody that you know when you walk into the dining room, or somebody that you know that you walk into the show, right? It just feels more welcoming, right? Lisa, hey, is anybody sitting next to you? And I go and sit next to Elisa, right? I didn't know she was going to be at the show, but that kind of thing, right? Where 10, 12, 15, 50, 100 people on the ship, right? It makes your cruise vacation just a little bit more comfortable for you, right? Acclimating to this big, huge ship with 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people, right?
Yeah.
And for even somebody like me who has been cruising before, right? Just to go and meet other like-minded individuals, meet other content creators that I haven't met before. If it's that kind of group cruise, like a YouTube content creator group cruise, it's something that I would definitely look forward to. I don't know if I can really find a negative against a group cruise, because even if you went on the group cruise for, let's say, the rate or whatever, right? Because a lot of these are deeply discounted rates because the travel agent or whoever is the head of it are getting, 10, 12, 15, 60, 70 rooms, whatever. So it brings the price down, right? So you may just get on that group cruise to get the lower price and be like, hey, I'm just here with my family and we're going to do the family things. Nothing against the group, but this is really a family vacation and we just needed to get on this cruise for cheaper. So
yes, yes.
I don't really know if there's a negative to a group cruise, because you can always kind of pull yourself away from the group if you wanted to. So I don't know. I don't know if I can find one technically a negative, but there are definitely a lot of positives in going in a group.
That's okay too, then. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm with you on those lines. I think it's been great experiences for me. And like you said, if you want to have people to hang out with that you might not ordinarily get a chance to, it's been very fun. I guess I would say for the group cruises that are talking about and we've all been showing on YouTube, or you've watched on YouTube, Life with B, Edna's World, I guess I would just make sure, if this is your first time going on a group cruise, that you kind of know the expectations of whoever is running that group or whoever is hosting that group, because Veronica and Edna are very laid back, and they're just like, come where you want, participate in what you want, just let me know. So they have their head counts for whatever activity that they're going to do. But I can see other people really putting a lot of time, effort, energy into like having it all scheduled out and having in their mind this is the group photo and this is this and that, and there's nothing wrong with any of that, but they may not be as flexible, may not be as okay about you not coming to something that you said you were going to come. I that's probably an extreme, because cruises are pretty laid back. People are just kind of like, okay, it's fine. I got caught up at the Lido bar, but you know what I mean. You don't want to feel like you don't want to feel like you don't want to feel like you're standing everybody up, and then the next time they see you, it's like, where have you been? You know?
Correct.
Right.
So
Because they
just kind of know.
Because you'll schedule the head of the group cruise, right? It's not going to be like, hey, we're going on a group cruise next month. Everybody book it. No, that's not what's going to happen, right? It's a group cruise in 2027, 2028. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. And you are right? It is on a personality basis. So while Edna and V are very laid back, and that is a great style of cruising, right? There are maybe some other content creators out there, or even just heads of group cruises that are like, dinner's at 7. Pictures are at 9, flick is at 10, and the casino is at 11. Don't miss it. It's like, or slot pool is at 11. Don't miss it.
Right. Or people get very, and this is not a bad thing that people are concerned and are looking for each other and making sure everybody is okay. You just kind of like want to know if they want you to check in or say hey, or maybe that's the thing. Everybody come to dinner so we can see everybody's okay. Just know what the expectations are.
And there are some group cruises where there's like, 50 or 100 people, but everybody there is like, I'm going to everything, right? I'm also forgetting, you want to know what? I've been on many group cruises, because I went on the John Heald group cruise this past February, which I totally forgot, right? And I wouldn't say everybody that booked the John Heald cruise was at every event, but all of the John Heald events were packed. Right. So everybody was like, okay, we got a schedule of what John was doing, the activities, the meet and greets, all of that. And they all had times, they all had different days and things like that. So there were a lot of people that went to them. And I'm also even forgetting another group cruise, because I went on one last year with Eddie Lugo Studios, Jeremy, and the Go Live Together crew. That was the Booze 2.0, if I forget. So you know what? I've been on a bunch.
See?
So much fun. I'll tell you though, if you missed 5 o'clock dinner with Eddie, he did get a little mad. So he was there. He was waiting.
He was waiting.
Well, I'll tell you, y'all come up with some really good reasons why you should go on a group cruise. Saving money, meeting people. You're not alone. You can do what you want to kind of do. I'll throw one more extra one in there. The Helping Hands for Cruising is also a charity. So if you like being charitable and you like Helping Hands for Cruising, you want to be a part of something that's bigger than just a group cruise. It's an organization helping others. That's something else you can do as a group cruise. Absolutely. And once again, you can participate once you get on the ship or not, doesn't matter. You're still helping be a part of something and building it up. And that's what the ABC cruise next year in April is going to be. And the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise later on this year, I think in November. So there's several of those group cruises you can be a part of to help an organization out as well. I did come up with a negative reason though.
Okay.
I watched, this was a couple years back, I think it was La Lita Loca. and watching Tony trying to get from the starboard side of the ship to the port side of the ship up on Lido deck. And you could just see it on his face. An hour later, and he still wasn't there because people won't stop, take his pictures, stop and talk to him, chat, stop and talk, take pictures, chat. And some people can't handle all that. You know, that's just too much for them. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that was a huge cruise. There was like, I don't know, 800 vloggers on that ship. You couldn't turn around. There wasn't, everybody had cameras. There's a dozen cameras in your face constantly. And you're taking videos, and all your videos are of people videoing. You know, so I think that could be overwhelming. I think the size of the group you're getting into,
Yes.
I'm talking particularly of YouTube cruises, because you know everybody's going to have cameras. You know, I think if one got that big, I'm not going to be a part of it. And I like people. You know, if I get stopped a dozen times on my way going from Lido deck, you know, on port side to starboard side, I don't care. I'll chat it up with them. I'll take pictures with them. I'll go until they run out of gas, because they'll run out of gas before I will. But some people can't handle that. At the same time, to do that continuously all day, every day for your cruise, you know, you're trying to chill out by the pool and people are still coming over. And I think you can get a fatigue from that and say, you know what, I think I'm just going to go hide in my cabin. So I think I would watch the size of the group cruise I'm being on, you know, and I think one with 800 vloggers would be too big for me. That's the one I'm going to say no to. I think 799 might be okay, but 800 is going to be too many.
Like, I'm out.
So, Chet, what you're really telling us is size does matter.
It does.
Of your group cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so. And now it's not that same effect with Facebook. Like I say, you can be on a Facebook group and there can be 1,000 people in that Facebook group, and you may never know more than a dozen of them.
Right.
Right.
You know, and that's okay. A Facebook group, don't let that number scare you.
Right.
YouTube group that size, from what I've observed, I didn't observe it firsthand being there in person, but from watching people's vlogs of that giant group cruise, and even Lolita Loca said they'll never do that again.
Yeah.
I was like watching, I'm like, thanks for showing us that, because I don't ever want to do that either. But
like
799 is okay.
Cruise. He had like 25% of the cruise booked as part of his people's. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was, like you said, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. They did really well. I think they had such a great turnout for that extravaganza, but it was an extravaganza, and the folks who were running it didn't necessarily. I think they enjoyed it. They had a great time. They met everybody, but it was a lot of work, and a lot of work. They needed a cruise after the cruise to decompress from it all, I think.
And I know people had to show up early for the events. Like people, like not even just 30 minutes. Like you had to get there like an hour, right? Just to even get seats, because they're, you know, you can only get certain venues for these group cruises, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's the comedy club or the other second lounge, right? It only has 250 some odd seats, right? And if Lolita Loca had 800 people on his group cruise, imagine how many people are standing, right? If you don't get there an hour before. And they started to realize that. I saw that in vlogs too. People were lined up, you know,
for hours. Hours coming.
Yep.
And they had to have things at off. I don't want to say odd times, but kind of off time when the theaters weren't being used or the room wasn't being used.
And imagine the giveaways that bringing 800 lanyards.
800 times 2, because usually you got your significant other with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yikes.
Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know how you'd have to have 75 suitcases just for that, right? Hey, before we move on, I want to thank our special sponsor of the day. She's not only intelligent, charming, and good looking, but she's smart too. It's Elisa.
This episode of The Conscious Cruiser is sponsored and supported by Elisa's Adventures in Cruising and the Monday Mood Check. Check out the Monday Mood Check every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. For some exciting cruise talk, munch pack reviews, and even some home cooking. So start of your week right every week with Elisa and the Monday Mood Check. Don't miss it. And now back to the Conscious Cat.
Yeah.
I'm already at the Monday Mood Check spot, so don't tell me you beat me there today.
I got distracted by the cookie. I wanted a cookie.
You always get distracted by those cookies.
So good.
Yeah, I need a cookie right now. That's what I need. All right, we'll move on to question number 3 here, y'all.
Okay.
In your opinion, can a group cruise make your cruise experience better? Why or why not? Elisa, can't it make it better? Why or why not?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it definitely can. It definitely can. If you go with the right group, the right group of people, the right itinerary, it's just more enhanced because you feel like you're traveling with your friends and you're hanging out, and you maybe even if there's people who have not cruised before, you're seeing it from another perspective. It's kind of like kids at Christmas, where you get excited seeing them enjoy stuff for the first time. Same thing. You get excited when people are noticing, different things around the ship, or love it when the wait staff does this, or, whatever the experience is. And you're like, yeah, I'm so glad you're having a good time. It's definitely infectious, contagious, in the best way. So yeah, I think so.
All right.
I love
Scott, what about you?
Yeah, you want to know what? I'm also going to say yes, but I'm going to take it off the ship. Okay, so I'm thinking of when you go in a group cruise, right? There are advantages, right, to being together on the ship, but there's also advantages of being together off the ship. One, for safety, right? In a bigger group, a lot less things are likely to happen, right, than if you were just by yourself or with one other person. Two, right, you could do those excursions together. So it's like, hey, Elisa and Chet, I'm going on the Glacier Express when we go into Tracy Arm. Have you guys ever done that? Do you guys want to go too? Chet's like, oh, me and Robin have never done that. Elisa's like, I've never done that. Now we have 5 people going on the Glacier Express, right, to experience that together. So there's that. Then, right, let's just say you're going to a private island like Celebration Key or Ocean Cay, right? Now, that cabana that you were like, we're not paying $500 for a cabana, but now you got 8 people, right? Because it's Chet and Robin, it's Elisa and her daughter, it's me and my wife. Don't have a wife. Me and my wife, and then it's Chris and Liz. And now it's the cabana divided by 8. Plus, you get a cabana boy to serve you some charcuterie boards and some beers. So you want to know what? That cabana that you would have never paid for or never even thought of, now you have it 8 ways. And you also have 7 friends there with you to eat the meat and the beers and, all that other stuff.
Exactly.
So
yes.
I was going to take it off the ship too, Scott. My example was a Great Stirrup Cay on our group cruise. A couple of just regular people, they're not vloggers or anything. They went ahead and rented a great big giant cabana like you're talking about. One of those that costs like $1,000, And says, hey, anybody want to come and split this with us? Well, the whole group went. So we split it among like 12 of us. So it came up really cheap, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic, y'all. We never, like Scott said, we never would have done that on our own.
Right.
And it was such a fantastic time. It just really made Great Stirrup Cay that much better. It was like we had our own base. There was always somebody there sitting there like camping out, watching their stuff or whatever, while other people are ziplining, other people are at the beach and going to get something to eat. And yet there was still somebody hanging out, just talking. It made for the best private island experience I think we've ever had. And it came on a group cruise. So I definitely want to do that again.
Are you still in contact with the people who booked that cabana at first? Like, obviously you became friends because you spent a couple hours with them, but are you still in like contact with them, like either on Facebook or in another group?
No, only see them if they come through group cruises. One of the guys in particular, Charlie, he had already cruised with us before in Alaska. So this is his second time with us. And but we only see him when we get on a cruise. He'll let us know, hey, I booked that cruise, and that's it. Other than that,
that's awesome.
Yeah, people move on to their life. I guess they watch our shows and stuff. I don't know how they know when we're doing something.
I love it.
That's cool. That's cool. I have seen people meet on the ship and be like, hey, I remember you. Yeah, when we on the celebration together, when we on the Mardi Gras, whatever. And that's always fun when catch up with friends, because most of us who enjoy cruising really enjoy cruising, and we want to keep going. So our paths cross often. You'd be surprised.
Yes. Yeah, we've run into people too who said, hey, we saw you talk about this on your show and we booked this cruise so we could run into you. I'm like, well, great. So we hung out with them. We've gone to trivia with some of these people and won prizes and stuff. And then, we don't see them again unless we maybe tell them, maybe they're watching now and they're going to say, oh, what's your next cruise sea lake journey? We'll see you on the ship. And that's okay. That's fine with me. I love it. I love meeting people. But that's, I think, I think a group cruise can really enhance your experience. I think there's far more enhancements with a group cruise than there is by yourself, because you got so many other things. Like Scott said, hey, I'm going to go do this excursion. You may not even thought about that excursion. And now you find yourself going and doing this fantastic excursion that you never would have done on your own. So it's definitely a big win-win there with the group cruise. Hey, our last question though, y'all, the question of the cast. Would you book a group cruise over booking your own cruise? In other words, let's say you're going to go to wherever next year. You want to go to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. You know you're going to go check out the ABC Islands. Are you going to go ahead and just book that on your own? Or you may be looking for that ABC group cruise that we've got going next year. You know, you got options. You want to do it with the group that you know is going, or you're like, nah, I think I'll just book it separately. Which one would you pick, Scott? Knowing that's a destination that you're already going to do next year.
I love how we put that little earworm in that you're already going to do that I'm not booked on, but he's already trying. This is like his 12th.
It's a thing. It's happening.
Already going to book. That's right, check.
I'm annoying like that sometimes.
This one's tough. This one's really tough for me because I think if it was just me, truly, I think I would book the group cruise. Mm-hmm. Now, one of my favorite things, and I've said this many times on many different shows, is to take my personal family and friends on their very first cruise. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to do that, one of my friends hit me up and was like, hey, I'm ready for a cruise. I got the money. Let's do it. I might take that person just with me. I know that group cruises can be really good for first-time cruisers, but I feel like I would have a little bit more personal time with that individual. That individual might not feel overwhelmed. Now, if I didn't know that person, they were like, hey, you know, I want to go on a cruise for the first time, I might suggest that group cruise. But since I've been on so many group cruises, I have a passion for taking people on their first cruise. It is a little selfish, I'm sorry, but I would probably like to go with that friend or family member or whoever it may be, and then guide them through it. And then, hey, even if they come back and it's like, Scott, I had the greatest time ever. I'm like, well, guess what? In April 2026, I got the perfect group cruise for you. I'm gonna meet some of my crazy YouTube friends and cut that cost down for me a little bit. We can get an interior, it'd be like $800 each. How about that, Zach? How about that?
Yeah.
Just made up a name.
That's what I'm talking about. What do you think, Elisa?
Crazy like that. That Scott, he's crazy, I tell you. You know what? I'm thinking about it just in reference to this upcoming cruise, this bucket list cruise to Greece. So Greece was already on my list, and I was kind of like thinking about when I could do it. You know, it was kind of like in the next 5 years. I was thinking I was gonna go, and then I started seeing MH Family Adventures talk about this group cruise that they were planning, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh yeah, I would love to go. And then I kind of just, you know, sent that little email to find out about it. And then when it came back with the price, and I'm like, I think I could do that sooner than 5 years. Wait, who's going?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in. So it was a combination of knowing who was going to be on the group and what the pricing was. So yeah, it might as well go now and save some money. I don't know if I'm really saving any money, but the idea is you're saving a little bit with the group.
You bring up some good points there. You know, when I was thinking about this, I was like, you know, if I'm just going to a regular 7-day Caribbean cruise that we've been to all the ports before, I'd probably go with the group cruise. Maybe depends on what time they're going and how big the group is and things like that. But I probably would pick the group cruise, maybe. But if I was going to Greece, definitely if I was going somewhere overseas that I haven't been before, I'm definitely looking for a group cruise. That's an absolute. I want to find a group cruise to do that if I can. If I can't, we'll go on our own. But I think that's really the time that I'm looking for a group cruise is like you're doing, Elisa, going to Greece, wherever it is you're going. I don't know.
Over there.
That's a really good point for a longer transatlantics or that's great. That's a good piece.
Definitely want to do a group cruise in, you know. So it's just something to think about. And And I think there's a lot of great points that everybody here in the cast has brought up. It's been a really good episode here. Hopefully we've helped some people out considering going on a group cruise. And if you are considering it, we got a lot of travel agents that we know on our channels who do a lot of group cruises. Let us know by email. Our emails are on our channels, or get a hold of us, through you can even comment on a video, because I think we all answer all of our comments back, and we can help you find a travel advisor who can find you a group cruise if that's something you're interested in. Want to know one that we're going on? We'll let you know. We'll get you on that cruise with us.
ABC is in you, April 2026.
Yes, that's a good one, Scott. I'm glad you brought that up. I hadn't thought of that yet.
It's working.
It'll be so much fun, y'all. They're going to sink the ship when we're done, because it'll never be able to sail again.
It won't be the same.
And Chet, I do want to say right before we do get out of here, I do know you mentioned Helping Hands for Cruising, which Chet, Elisa, and myself are all big proponents for. And later this weekend, they are doing a all hands on deck cruise-a-thon. So starting at 10 p.m. on Saturday night, they will be going for 24 hours. So if you want to find a way to contribute in the cruise community world, you can show up to one live, you can show up to a couple of them, but that would definitely be a way that you can support, even if you do not have plans on going on the ABCs and U Group Cruise.
Yes.
I guess I now have plans to go on, so.
So Scott's looking forward to his next group cruise. So am I. I'm looking forward to mine. So is Elisa. Guys, we've had a great conversation about group cruises. And I guess next week we're going to head on over to Elisa from Elisa's Adventures in Cruising to talk about, is cruising too extreme for you? That'll be episode number, 44? 30? 44 next week? Oh, my goodness. Whew.
Wow.
Well, we sure appreciate all y'all coming in here to join us. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify.
Right?
Yes.
Spotify, y'all. We're over there, and we sound good on Spotify, I think.
You really do.
That's right. Right. And if you guys go on over to Go Live Together, please let Eddie, Jeremy, and Cheryl know that the Conscious Cruiser cast sent you, and give them a little conscious raid, please. So much fun. So much fun. Let's go on a group cruise, guys, together.
We'll do the Conscious Cruiser live from the ship.
Oh, yes.
We will.
Sounds great.
All right, guys. We sure appreciate it. We'll see you next time, episode 44 next week. See you around the channel.
Yeah.
See you at the boot check. Beat ya.